Hey, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 10, Frenemies for Life. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Hey, what's up, Barbarina? Hey, French lady. I'm going to be actually honest with you guys. This episode, for real, seemed like a filler episode, even though it set a lot of things in motion. And I have questions. If you guys are new to my recap, my name is Tisa. I'm your friendly neighborhood gossip. I'm going to go over briefly what happened. Then we're going to get into the discussion. I'm going to drop the call link so you guys can tell me what you think. Okay, so let's get into this. But before we do, I have some questions. What is Sanya's problem with Drew? I'm actually being very serious. What is Sanya's problem with Kenya? I'm a little confused about this. What did Kenya ever do to you? Why are you taking Marlo's side? It's giving producer setup. And honestly, Marlo is coming in too hot and heavy for Kenya. I get it. Marlo's trying to fill Nene's shoes. Marlo's trying to fill Portia's shoes. But damn, Marlo, calm down. Also, I do actually want to say this. Was Drew right about Sanya? I know Drew gets on my damn nerves. She does. But was she right about Sanya? Was Sanya being annoying, flip-floppy, take a side? Girl, what are you doing? I don't know. It's actually giving those vibes. Okay, let's get into it. Yeah, that's right, French lady. Marlo is just too thirsty. You coming in so hot and heavy like Marlo. We've known you for the past 10 years. How long has she been on as a friend? We actually like Marlo. We like what Marlo bought. We just wanted to see more. We ain't need you to take the demon child, the demon child route. It's just weird to me. Hold on, let's get into this. I'm going to take y'all briefly through the episode if you guys are on the West Coast and has not done it. Okay, everything opens with Kenya and Kandi. They're with Blaze and Brooklyn. I think it's Blaze's birthday, or they're at least celebrating. They're having fun. Kandi explains that Marlo put the boys out. She's under a lot of stress. Candy's like, I can't imagine doing that because I put out Melvin. I bought in Melvin, my cousin, when he was 11 and raised him as my son. So I can't imagine telling him to get the F out, right? This actually made me think, honestly, that Marlo putting her boys out is a storyline because thank God, because I actually researched and the boys have been living with Marlo for 3 years. Well, they've been living with Marlo for 3 years prior, right? Or something around that. It was prior. So it's odd to me that as soon as the show starts, you mysteriously can't take it and then put the boys out. They didn't seem to do nothing. It didn't seem that serious. To me, it seemed producer driven. Now, here's the thing, right? Real Housewives of Atlanta can lead to a lot of opportunity. It can also, you too can steal someone's husband. It can lead to a lot of stuff. But I don't think it's wise. And again, I'm not on Housewives. What do I know? I'm not in the reality TV game. Maybe Marlo and them know something I don't. But is it really wise to literally do all these messy things to get the producers to give them a storyline when they will throw you away the next season? Unlike Beverly Hills and all the other reality shows, Real Housewives of Atlanta really do use people for one season and then throw them away. Look at what they did to Claudia. Claudia was one of the best things, in my opinion, that happened to Real Housewives of Atlanta. They ain't bring her back for a second seat. Well, Claudia said, forget it, I'm not waiting. And she got other opportunities, but they didn't bring her back. Shamari, there's a lot of good people that actually contribute to the show, in my opinion, that they don't bring back. And they seem to keep the mediocre people, but then they wondering why the show's so mediocre. But here's my whole point. Marlo, doing all this mess to give producers a storyline and step up, when honestly, we already liked you the way you were, and all you had to do was just, I don't know, just be, I don't know. Listen, so Claudia did decline, but one of the reasons she declined is because they were taking forever to give her a contract. They didn't know whether they wanted to keep her as a friend, demote her. They didn't know what they wanted to do. They were acting real funny, which is odd to me that the Real Housewives of Atlanta just don't hold on to the correct talent. But meanwhile, they'll be chasing other people down and then wondering why ratings are so low. Now, I'm not blaming Marlo for ratings being low. That's not it. That has to do completely with last season and what the producers actually said, right? All right. So They start talking, they do this. Then Kenya actually opens up that she's having a big issue with her supply lines. I actually believe this, especially after post-COVID. A lot of people I know that get their supplies from overseas, not only are there problems with supply lines, you know that they're doing rolling power outages in the region of China, that everything's produced for whatever reason. Factories that used to be open for 7 days a week are now only open for 4 days a week. So what does that mean? This is how I know Kenya's telling the truth. What does that mean? It means that the big companies know that like there's going to be problems getting their shipment. So the big companies are actually making their orders 2-3 times bigger, so they don't have any type of delay in getting their product. So that means if you are a small business, you're going to be pushed to the back because your order doesn't mean that much compared to if they got like pretty little things on deck. You see what I'm saying? So Kenya's getting all these opportunities with Walmart and with CVS, but the supply lines aren't there. So I understand it's just like you're getting an opportunity of a lifetime, but for whatever reason, you can't actually take it. So I see why she's nervous. Now, we all know that Kenya got her stuff in CVS. So somehow she was able to figure it out. Maybe, I guess they went through as an American company or a Latin American company and just had to pay more for materials, right? Hey, Sarah. Whoa, Sarah, thank you so much. Shout out to Sarah. Yes, thank you. Wow, that is so generous of you. Thank you so much, Sarah. Y'all make sure y'all follow Sarah on Instagram. She is one of my TisaTells. We are family, and she gives the best tea. She gives the best tea. Thank you so much, Sarah. Okay, Sarah, thank you so much. That's so generous. You actually made my night. Thank you. Woo! Look at French Lady said, hey, Sarah. Yeah, Claudia should have stayed. Let's keep Sarah up there. The love. I am enjoying my vacation. It's a short one, but I'm enjoying it. Okay, so listen, right? Yeah, Sarah is full of pockets. Listen, she talking like she walking. This is a short little getaway, but I decided to, finally show my face. I was going to cancel tonight's live, but then I said, no, my New Year's resolution was to be more consistent. And if I can't do that with eating or anything else, I might as well just be more consistent when it comes to you guys, right? Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so then, let's celebrate Sarah one more time. All right, so then, it flips into, you see, what's her name? Sanya talking about her Fitbit, which is great, right? Then you also see Marlo talking to, I forget her name, but she's a young lady that Marlo actually helped raise. Marlo goes into how she put the boys out and all this stuff. To me, it's not ringing as true. If they really did something so much that got on your last nerve, I don't think there's anything in life they could do. You would have more emotion. It's just giving. That's the thing with Marlo. Marlo used to always come off as very, very genuine. And now in every scene she's doing, it's giving very forced. It's giving very fake. And honestly, Marlo is becoming what she's accusing Kenya of being, if that makes any sense. If that makes any sense, just real phony, real fake, real just like whatever. So then moving on, what else happened? I'm just drop the link as soon as I'm done with this recap, right? We see Sheree getting ready for her She by Sheree. Girl, we see Sheree getting ready for her She by Sheree. Yo, you know what? I was rooting for Sheree. I really was. And listen, I like Sheree. Sheree is good TV. But the fact that you are literally on some talking about your big, it's like literally you were playing dress up, sitting there talking to your CEO or whoever. And she's like, yeah, I want the drawstring to be inside the pants. And the girl's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And I sat there and thought, are there any pants with drawstring that the drawstring is not inside the waistband? I really thought about that. Is there any type of sweatpants or drawstring pants where the drawstring is not inside the waistband? And Sheree sitting there, I'm telling you, it's giving me spring, summer, fall vibe, guys. Like, Sheree, is this another scam? Is this another scam? I just can't believe it. So listen, Now, here's the thing also. Even though Marlo was giving fake, right? I just want to go back to single Marlo because I forgot one important thing. The lady's name, I believe, is like Crystal or something. Tell me if I'm wrong. But Crystal, Marlo also kicked her out. Marlo also kicked her out. I don't know. It's weird. Listen. She literally kicked her. She literally bought her in so she wouldn't have to go into the foster care system. And then she kicked her out when she got mad. So, yeah, she kicked her back out to, I think, her mom. So maybe that's just what Marlo does. Marlo like takes people in. Then when they get on her nerves, she kicks them out. Maybe Marlo doesn't have secure attachment style and literally doesn't know how a loving relationship works, where if you are in a loving relationship, people do make you mad and they do get on your nerves, but you just can't treat them any way you want. Like you have to have patience and forgiveness, you know? It's giving, I don't know, it's giving a little selfish. It's just odd, but I don't know. It's just giving storyline. Anyway, Sheree's getting ready, fake it, talking about, yes, I want the pants in the drawstring, right? Now, let's explain Sheree breaking her foot. Y'all, if I cared a little bit more, I would research because Sheree's story did not add up at all. Let's talk about what Sheree said happened. She said she was trying on a pair of boots. Trying on a pair of boots. Her pinky toe caught, her foot went the other, and she ended up breaking her toe and being in the thing. And I was like waiting for the rest of the story. Like, did you fall? Did you tumble? Were you in a moving car? How did this happen? Now, I know freak accidents happen, and I know Sheree is older than she looks, but Sheree's still young. You see what I'm saying? Like Sheree, the face looks great or whatever she did, the rejuvenation. But Sheree is still young. So, and I know, and when I say young, I mean like when you get 90, your bones just naturally get more fragile. You can maybe something like that happen. But what actually happened to Sheree's foot? Because I'm telling y'all, her excuse, her story, it doesn't make any sense. And again, if I cared, I would investigate. But it's just like, oh, whatever, Sheree. What is going on in Sheree's life? That's the weird thing about Sheree, which makes her good TV. There's always something a bit nefarious about everything she says, a bit off, a bit, right? But everything Sheree says, Sheree could say, I went to the store. But when you hear the story, you're like, I don't know why, but there's something very nefarious going on. Sheree, what are you up to, you little scammer? I'm telling you, that her breaking her foot by putting on a shoe, and you know how Sheree, when she lies, I don't know why, but Sheree makes up very stupid lies. Sheree makes up lies that in reality make no sense. That's what that foot thing did. Again, listen. Exactly. If her little toe start, but not even that, you guys, unless you are falling, literally, unless you are falling or in a moving object or something, you would need so much blunt force to literally push your toes in the other direction. We've all stubbed our toe on a coffee table. We've all done that. So again, Sheree, did you fall to the floor? Where did you get the force to break a toe? I don't even know, to separate them like that. Trying on a pair of shoes. Not even that, because you know Sheree, you know she a little scammer. I feel like if that really did happen while she was trying on shoes, Sheree would have sued the store. Sheree would have found some way to get an insurance claim on the show, on the store, and get some money out of that. I just listen. Wait, Kenya needs to go. I'm on Kenya's side. Am I the only one? Sorry, guys, my makeup is melting off. I am on Kenya's side. What do you mean Kenya needs to go? I'm going to drop the call link in a second. All right, so then Drew, Monetta, and Kandi. Drew, here's the thing about Drew. When she's just chilling, she's very likable, I guess, but she's never just chilling. Drew is always doing too much, you know. For them to be talking about is Fatum coming and Drew saying that Sheree's friend Fatum is a stalker, I find laughable considering, hey, Trudy's TC, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. I find it laughable, and Sarah, thank you again. I find it laughable that you are literally complaining about somebody being a stalker when you literally were in your LaToya's uterus trying to figure out what's going on between her and the prophet. The way you literally did all that mess, and you got the nerve to be calling somebody a stalker. Girl, all you do is investigate and try to embarrass people. And now you mad. You mad that somebody beat you at your own game, Drew? Okay, listen. Also, was it just me, or did Drew's eyes look red and glassy the whole time she was at the cabin? Again, was she crying? Was she like taking in some medicinal herbs? What was going on with Drew? Her eyes looked so red and so glassy, crying, I don't know. There was something going on with that too. All right, so then we get to the cabin. Again, this was a filler episode, but it was still decent. You know, everything can't be a 10. Marlo and Sheree in a Bentley, why do they always expose their thought process? The fact that grown women got into a Bentley and said, oh my God, they're going to be so jealous of us. They're going to be so jealous because people were in a Bentley. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice car, but the fact that you think it, to me, it's like, it boggles my mind when people that are grown that should have experienced things. And if you haven't experienced it after a certain age, I would think they stop being important to you. Literally sat there like they were two girls from My Sweet 16 talking about something. They're going to be so jealous of us. They're going to be so jealous. Girl, who is jealous that you get to sit? And not even that. It's not even your car. It's a rental. So y'all acting like two girls from My Sweet 16, happy that you get to sit in a rental car. They're going to be so jealous. Who would be jealous? But then I said, you know what? This is the mindset they are in. This is why, like, Marlo's the way she is. And honestly, this is why this Sheree is the way she is too. Because Sheree is very status obsessed. She's very obsessed with what it presents to other people. To the point that she will do anything to maintain the look of affluence. Thank you. English is my first language, I swear. She will do anything she can except actually work and be legit. I'm just saying. So they get in the car. They send an Aston Martin for Kandi and them. The driver is like, you can't eat in here. And I was like, is this from the showroom? Why did you put? I'm surprised there wasn't plastic from the seats. That was so weird. So they get out, eat their chicken wings. It was weird. Like, what do you mean I can't eat in here? You know, with the car service after that, you're always supposed to do a detailed cleaning before you deliver the car to the next client. So, and also if you drop anything in the car, of course you get charged for the cleaning if you make any type of messes. So it was very, very weird that something from a high-end car service would tell you that you can't eat in that car. You can do whatever you want in the car, because if you mess it up, you're going to be the one paying for it. That was weird to me. I don't know. I feel Kandi when Kandi, because you know Candi's been some places. So I know Kandi was like, what in the hell? Anyway, let's see, listen. Then that's another thing. Monetta, I like Monetta, but I thought it was weird that her and Drew were making excuses for Marlo putting her boys out, right? I just thought, then we get to Marlo's candle. Marlo starts playing a candle game where she's reading the candles and saying stuff. And I said, God, this is so boring. But at least Marlo's not being toxic. I said, all right, Marlo got 2 sentences this season. Hella toxic or boring as all hell. I said, I guess boring's better than toxic. Then they all go out to dinner. Marlo is, as you know, a consummate host. They all go out to dinner. Kenya pops up. Kenya says she doesn't want to stay in the house until Brooklyn Sitter gets there. Now, hear me out, and then I'm going to drop the call and link, because they start getting into it. They do their whole nice, nasty thing. I don't understand. Marlo's going back and forth with Kenya. They're doing nice, nasty. They're not screaming. They're not yelling. It was actually a good scene. They were reading each other down without it getting violent, right? It's like, okay, good. This is housewife stuff. Why is Sanya riding so hard for Marlo? Did the producers tell her to do this? Because at this point, it's like, Sanya, it don't make any sense. Even the way, it just doesn't make any sense. The way Sanya last week was like, Kenya should have toasted to Marlo. Sanya, we were there. Marlo put a champagne glass up in the air like she was about to dump champagne on Kenya. Marlo is just like, Sanya is just like why is she doing this to Marlo? Why won't she stay in the house? Let me tell y'all something. A normal person, I would have been like, Kenya, you're tripping. Why don't you stay in the house? But Marlo is so unpredictable. And Marlo doesn't have boundaries. And Marlo is dead set on getting underneath Kenya's skin and saying something to disrespect Kenya. She is. And triggering Kenya. You literally want to take Kenya out of pocket, right? You're dead set on doing that. Baby, I wouldn't have my child near you too, because Marlo doesn't have limits. I could see Marlo saying something smart about Brooklyn while Kenya's there. Y'all can say no. Marlo does not have limits. I could see Marlo saying something about Mark in front of Brooklyn and Kenya. I could see her doing something that would make Kenya lose her damn mind. I'm very proud of Kenya for actually saying what she felt about Marlo. The fact that everybody is skirting over the issue that Marlo accused Kenya of lying about being pregnant. Now, you could just be like, oh, whatever. But I remember back then, half the blogs believed the fact that Kenya was faking her pregnancy. Can you imagine getting your miracle baby, being in a high-risk pregnancy, and the kid's father, your husband, is taking you through it, and people are literally accusing you? They're accusing you of faking your pregnancy and being a liar. And where did all this come from? It came from Portia Williams, the biggest liar in the world, making up all these stories about Kenya. But what we know, Portia was writing her manifesto, and she ended up becoming everything that she said Kenya was. Woo! Whoop, 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 whoop. So anyway, let me drop the call in link. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this episode. I'm telling you, Marlo is coming in so hard to be the drama, but it's so nasty and it's so out of nowhere. It's just like, yo. And Sanya just effortlessly backing her up. I literally sat there and I said, Self, has your dislike for Drew colored your viewpoint so much that you threw out the baby with the bathwater? That even though you can't stand Drew, and even though Drew's extra, and even though Drew gets on your damn nerves, she wasn't wrong about Sanya. Sometimes you gotta chew the meat and spit out the fat. All right, there we go. Let's see. ECH Bunny said there are photos of Sheree wearing a pair of ruched jogging pants that you can't buy it. Sheree also claims that she is in the wellness, like drop it like Drew. Oh yeah, I did a video a while back about She by the Sheree site. I don't understand at this point, though. I really don't understand at this point, because hear me out, guys. Hear me out. Sheree could have had activewear. Sheree could have did a lot of stuff. The fact that Sheree wastes all her opportunities, where even now she could be selling Alibaba 2-pieces and just putting in a little iron-on tag that says She by Sheree. I don't understand what Sheree's problem is. To me, Sheree seems more hell intent on maintaining an image, but she doesn't want to put any work behind it. Honestly, she does. And here's the thing. There are some things in life that are easier than others. I'm not going to lie. Like YouTube's a private example. YouTube, to me, is easier than having a boss to get on your damn nerves, or, having to deal with product and supply chains and all this stuff. So to me, I'm like, yeah, I can do this. But that doesn't mean it's easy. You still got to go live sometimes when you don't feel like it. You still got to put the work in. Now, you enjoy it. But it seems like Sheree just doesn't want to put the work in. Y'all get what I'm saying, right? You get what I'm saying? Let's add Nikki and Betty. How are your ladies doing tonight? Nikki and Betty.
Good night, Tisa.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, Nikki.
Hi, how you doing, Betty?
I'm doing
How you
okay.
doing, Tisa?
Hey, what's up, everyone? So listen, let's start with Nikki, then we'll move to Betty. What do you think is, tell me what you thought about tonight's episode, especially, let's focus on that between Marlo and Kenya. But go on.
It was although it was a filler episode, it was a real good episode. It had like a lot of good a lot of good scenes. Like the Kenya and Marlo scene. I understand where Kenya's coming from. Because Marlo had been poking at her for a long time and going below the belt.
And she doesn't have limits. And I think because she is trying to trigger Kenya so bad, I do believe that she would do something as low down as insulting Kenya while her daughter's there. And then the next scene, she'll be like, I don't know why you getting so upset. Baby didn't even understand what I was saying. I could just see her saying some
children understand what adults are saying, believe me.
Yeah, no, they do, but I can see Marlo doing that because it's like, even when she was in the car with Sheree, and she was like, how did we get here? Marlo.
Yeah, that was so strange. Like, girl, you know exactly how we got here.
Mm-hmm.
No, but she was like, "Oh, it's two black women just can't get on." Like, Marlo, really, girl?
And using the black issue. That's what I'm like.
Yeah, like what?
And you know what? And Sanya is kind of coming off as a Portia.
What you mean?
How remember how like following up with Phaedra, believing everything, and then going against Kandi?
Oh,
she's kind of doing that with Kenya too when it comes to her and Marlo.
I agree with that.
But what do you think that her problem with Kenya is? Because it's like, where did this came out of nowhere?
I think Marlo probably fed her some nonsense behind the scenes about Kenya.
I don't think she has a problem with Kenya. I think that she realizes that if she like joins this alliance against Kenya, that's going to solidify her place on the show. I think that she realizes that beefing with Drew is not going to hold her spot, but you know, going against Kenya is going to hold her spot. So, and that's what she's looking for.
And I agree.
So that's what she's doing.
And also, Kandi said on her speaking on it that her and Sanya kind of get into it too.
What you mean?
Like, because Kandi was saying, she was saying on her speak on it, she got in with her with Sheree, Marlo and Sanya. I don't know what it's gonna be about, but
yeah, that's weird that she got into it. I just don't understand why Sanya. Again, I can't stand Drew, but I was like, damn, let me go and back and see what Drew was complaining about with Sanya, because it seems like there is something up with Sanya.
I can see, and then like Kandi said on her speak on it with Sanya when she was doing the talking. She said, why did y'all say I talked to, like, basically she said like the whole scene they had to condense it into 5 minutes, but she was speaking longer than what she was speaking when she was trying to confront Drew when they were in New York.
No, definitely. But Kenny brings up a good point. Kenny says, and don't forget, Marlo was hating on Kenya when she showed up at Cynthia's party, incredibly pregnant. I remember that.
Yes.
I thought that was so.
It was
disgusting.
Yeah,
that was very disgusting.
It was, and her and Nene were giggling, and I was just like, y'all. And Nene called her a buffalo. It was weird. Like, you guys are literally trying to shame a pregnant woman over her weight. Like, to me, I was like, am I in Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil? What is going on? It was crazy.
And to me, Kenya looked snatched when she was pregnant.
She sure did. She looked good as hell. Please,
she really honestly did. And she pregnancy looked really, really good on her. But I remember that scene, and I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, Marlo was like saying something like, "Oh, did a beast or a monster just walk in?" Like, she was really mean and unnecessary and unwarranted. It was like, what was the reason for that?
And she's not even gonna own up about the fact that she lied, saying that she talked about oaths that she was never pregnant.
Let me tell y'all something. I think the biggest problem is in a bug. You have a good point. Marlo can't read. That's to me the biggest problem. It's like Nene at times could be super, super hateful, but she was funny, even though you're like, I'm not gonna laugh. It's like Marlo can't read. She's just like gutter and hateful.
No, I agree. I agree with that. Nene can go load a belt and all that, but the thing is with Nene is a natural comedian.
Yeah.
So I think that Nene understands comedic timing, and she knows when to hit you with what. Like, she knows when to go light.
She has good comebacks.
Right. Nene's problem was that. Sorry, guys, my dog's in the back going nuts.
Okay.
But Nene. The issue with Nene is when she would get in her feelings, when she would get too much in her feelings, then she goes too gutter. But for the most part, she would understand that comedic timing thing. Marlo doesn't have any of it. Marlo just has nothing.
No. Don't get me wrong. She said some funny stuff on the show, but the thing, like you said, she don't know how to land it.
I don't think she's funny at all. I don't even be laughing at the stuff that Marlo says. I don't think she's funny at all.
The last time she was funny was when she did that thing with Sheree when she's like, Good in South
Yeah,
Africa. But now I realized that Marlo was dead serious. She wasn't trying to be funny. She was dead serious. I was like, she was dead serious. So, like, listen, what is your view on the Sonya thing? How are you guys feeling about the new additions? Like, I like Fatum. I like the way she pulled the receipts on Drew. I like in the car, Drew was nervous to see if she was coming. It's like, yeah, Drew personally got your number, right?
I think although she's a little thirsty at times, Fatum, I do like her. She seemed like she's very fun to be around. She seemed like she could be fun to be around.
Yeah. I like Sanya too.
Have a good time with.
Here's my thing about Sanya. Sanya's a Jamaican chick, and I don't know if you guys know any Jamaican girls, but they love them some drama and some mix-up. They could just be in there. They could be in all that drama. They could be bad. They could be good. They could just do it. And I feel like with Sanya, she's a typical Jamaican girl. Like, she's here for all of it. You know what I mean? So she's gonna take getting used to. I know most Jamaicans. Yeah, she's gonna take a getting used to, but I think that she has a lot to offer. She has some good things to offer, good and bad.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. Like, maybe she just likes like drama and she jumps in. That could be it.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is, I think, in my opinion. She just wants to be on the show. She wants to solidify her spot. So she's going in and she's making herself a part of all the drama because she wants her foot. Exactly. A solid foot in the show.
And to me, she's coming off as like how Wendy came off her first season of Potomac.
Okay, that makes sense. I blame the producers because it seems like the producers are like, go for Kenya if you want camera time. So it's just like, and Kenya is giving off different energy this season. So it's not landing. Let me ask y'all a question. Do you guys believe this whole Marlo put her nephews out storyline? It's starting to look like a storyline to me because it don't make any sense.
Yes and no.
Let's hear why.
I kind of do a little bit. I feel like she kind of did, but for a little, not for no 30 days.
Yeah.
However, I feel like she had her nephews leave for a couple of days, but made it seem on the show that she was having them leave for 30 days.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just weird. There's no emotion behind it. That's why I was like, what?
Yeah.
Where, like, if I had to put somebody out, your man, your child, like whatever, you would think there'd be some emotion behind it, whether it's anger, whether it's right, whether it's guilt. She's just like.
And you know what? I'm glad that Kandi and Kenya are the only ones that kept it real about it.
You know what the funny thing about it is? Like,
I think what's her name? She was just trying to stay in her place when she was saying whatever, Monietta, because she's new.
Maybe that's it. She was trying to be like she's under a lot of stress. That could be it. See, I'm like this. I don't get in my friends' business unless they tell me to. But when I see you doing something I find actually reprehensible, I'll literally say something to you like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Because to me, it's like, I don't need people around me that when I'm making a fool of myself, they're just like, yeah, girl, you got it. Tell me I'm being dumb. So I'm like, I know I'm being dumb. I'm fine, it's fine.
And also, like, although Drew do too much on the show, she come off as a kind-hearted person, I will say.
You know what I did notice about Drew? Drew is very good at presenting as a kind-hearted person because
he's
very good at presenting. Because remember how LaToya said that, like, you know, she'd had a rough day or something, and Drew was like, "Oh, girl, like, you know, I got you," and was talking to her, gave her rides home, all this stuff. She did the same thing with Sanya. And even with Marlo, when she was like, you know, she needs someone and she's very good at saying the right thing, but she doesn't follow through because she's one of those people that when you do lean on her or tell her your business, she holds on to it and then like pulls it out to embarrass you or to further her own goals. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust people like that. Again, she's good at presenting as caring, but I would never tell her anything about myself or even trust her with my emotions because it's like,
I wouldn't trust Drew as far as I could throw her.
And we all know with that drop it by Drew, that little scam. Drew is a scammer. You know, I honestly think that Drew is lying about having a mommy makeover. I don't notice the difference between her body. That's
the before and after picture.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was gonna take workout advice from the women on the show, it would probably more than likely be Sheree, Kenya, or Sanya.
Right. Me
You know
too.
the
I think
funny
I
thing
would
is-
take
yeah,
it
but
from
you know,
Sheree. Sheree be
Although
looking
Sheree is
gorgeous.
not a good businesswoman.
I think Sheree is just a little bit lazy because here's the thing. Fine, you don't want to do clothes, but how about doing on-demand videos? How about doing a fitness app? How about you should be doing, like you said, the Drop It by Drew. But and I would actually like at least sign up or at least go watch a YouTube channel. Like, all right, one thing you know how to do, Sheree, is keep your body tight. So the fact that Sheree is making any moves to bring in money of her own, even like something about what I eat in a day, like I would actually follow Sheree's fitness channel. I
I
really
would
would.
too. I would too. Sheree looks
I think
great.
I would.
Sheree
Yeah, I
looks
would
good.
too. Like she should have that should be her YouTube. That would have been a good income for her.
She can still do it. That's the weird thing. Because here's the thing, like I watch a bunch of what I eat in a day and fitness stuff. Now I don't do it, but it makes me feel like I'm doing something by watching it. It's like literally Sheree could make money so many different ways. Instead, she's crying over Tyrone and showing off her chandelier. I gotta ask you guys. Yeah, I gotta ask.
I was I was on Candy's side when she did the speak on it questioning Sheree. Because she asked the questions what the viewers were asking.
Yeah, but I will say that. What do you guys think of the dynamic between Kenya and Kandi? Their friendship.
I love their friendship.
I think that okay, so Candy is a Taurus. I'm also a Taurus. So there's honestly, I'm a little bit shocked that Candy is a Taurus. Sometimes, in some instances, it makes a lot of sense. In other instances, it doesn't. Because I feel like Tauruses are very like aggressive, and Candy is passive aggressive. So that like confuses me a lot of the times as to why she chooses to be that way. But the thing is, I feel like Candy has been famous for a long time, so she understands what behavior is acceptable for the public and to kind of like keep her real feelings away from the public. So with that being said, I do think that there are times where Candy is being a little bit two-faced when it comes to Kenya, because I feel like Candy probably really fucks with Kenya like on the like outside the cameras, but for the show she understands that Kenya is the villain. People love to hate Kenya, so she kind of plays with that. She kind of plays, to that reality on the show. Like she doesn't want to 100% be on Kenya's side, because she realizes that it's not good for the show, because people like to hate Kenya. People like to see.
I know. Yeah, I noticed that too. Ever since I think I noticed that ever since season 12. Candy kind of like not necessarily backed off Kenya as a friend.
I think
but shifted because everybody had a problem with her defending kept on saying the alliance.
I think though that Kandi and Kenya had definitely a friendship, but to you guys' point, you make up a good point. I do think that they have an understanding of this reality TV game, and an understanding, like you said, Betty, about like what the public will find acceptable. I think one of the reasons their friendship endures is because they never get too out of pocket with each other in a scene, but they still understand that they are working. They understand that they're working, so they, mix it up, make drama. And I think at the end of the day, maybe they say no hard feelings. There are a few times where I'm just like, do y'all like each other?
Yeah. I be thinking that too. So I was like, oh, that was my friend. I'll be mad.
I was a little like that whole that candle scene. I was a little nervous at first.
Yeah,
honestly, just a lot. Kandi is, in my opinion, she's an audience to a lot of Kenya bashing, and I don't think she does enough to speak up and to like make it stop, in my opinion. But then at the same time, I feel like Kandi probably understands that if she is the person to make it stop, then they're not going to get good scenes. They're not going to they're not going to get that drama on the show. So she allows it to happen for the sake of the show and making good TV.
But I notice with Kandi, if things go too far when they doing Kenya wrong, then she'll step in.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Marlo and Kenya. I gotta tell you though, I find it especially pleasing that Kenya won't get in the mud with Marlo. I find it especially pleasing that she will not give her the reaction that she wants. Now she's giving a reaction, but it's so pleasing the way Kenya's like, okay, let me center myself. And Marlo keeps going. But I don't know. I love that.
And she's doing all the mistakes that she's doing as a first time peach holder.
She is. That's so sad because you've been on the show for so long, girl. You still making all the mistakes the new girls make. Like, what's wrong with Marlo?
Oh, and FYI, Tisa, I agree with you with everything you said about Claudia and Shamari coming. They shouldn't have got rid of them.
I don't understand what casting decisions with Real Housewives of Atlanta. Again, maybe there are people that like different things than I do. I just don't understand.
Claudia she kept it like she kept it 100 on that show.
But she was a quick reader. She was funny. I like the fact that Kenya had an ally, but I loved, even if she wasn't Kenya's ally, the fact that she could go toe to toe with Nene. I really like Claudia. Shamari had really good energy. Between Latoya and Drew, I'm like, why didn't we keep Latoya and get rid of Drew? And the way that they didn't bring Fallon back, it's like it was just all so weird. It was just weird.
I loved Shamari on the show. She was very transparent on the show.
Shamari had a great, interesting life. Like, I'm still thinking about what this girl is doing. I don't know why she didn't stay on that show. She was a very interesting person.
I think the only time you could look at her was on, was it Couples Retreat?
But Shamari's a gorgeous girl. She has like crazy energy. She was good on Couples Retreat. I don't know. I just thought that they could have even brought her back. It surprises me the people they decide to keep on Real Housewives, and then they get mad that it's a mediocre show. It's like, but you go for mediocre. So, but then again, they say they're testing. So maybe I like people that the general audience is like, oh, we're not feeling them. I don't understand that.
Because I felt like for season 8, they should have had 7 peach holders.
How many are there now?
No, 6. No, like when Kim, I felt like Kim Fields shouldn't have replaced Nene or Kim or Claudia. I felt like they should have.
Weird. Kim, her energy, like you said, here's the thing. Kim's Fields was fine, but where she didn't fit in with the women, in my opinion. Also, Kim Fields, Drew is, I don't want to say her career is over because, like, I'm sure she'll get work. She's getting work now. But Kim Fields was actively trying to hold up a certain reputation. And when you have actively going on, you can't be on reality TV because it's going to mess it up. You trying to be up there, that's not.
And also, she didn't know how to read either. So then,
no, she did not. It was just weird. The producers, it's like, Kim, we get what you're trying to do, but that's.
Kim was reading in the confessionals, though. She was just non-confrontational. Kim was a non-confrontational person. And what are you doing on Real Housewives of Atlanta if you are non-confrontational?
I felt like for season 8, they were trying to bring something different back. Ever since that negativity with Nene with season 7, probably that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you like that. So let me get this straight. Look, what else can we talk about? There's a few other things I want to ask you guys about. Also, here we go.
Tisa, I didn't get to tell you what I feel about Marlo and her fake storyline. I'm very disappointed. I am extremely disappointed in Marlo. I just really am. I don't want to say too much about those kids, but I just hope that they are well taken care of. They have everything that they need and that they're going to therapy, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that they just have to work through that they're experiencing right now. And I hope to God that none of what Marlo is saying is true. And even if it's not true, I do still feel like this is trauma, and this is
I don't like the fact that she's showing everybody their rooms.
It's a lot of messed up stuff happening, and Marlo just doesn't have a clue. Like, you've had so much time to sat there and think about what are you going to do when you finally get on the show. You've been a friend of the show for so many years, and this is your plan. This is your plan, girl, to exploit your nephews. Girl,
I
whack.
don't, I
Whack.
don't know.
And she could have used that story in a different way too with her
Exactly.
nephew.
There's so many ways you could have used that
Yeah.
story. You could have used them, but you do it this way. You're literally exploiting the traumas and the issues that are in the Black community. You're trying to tug on our heartstrings with this fake shit. Girl, boo.
Here's the thing I don't understand though. Do people just not see reality, or are the producers of Real Housewives of Atlanta like Machiavelli just whispering in the air, Singali, if you will? Because honestly, here's the thing: everybody was so, well, at least I was. Everybody was so happy about Marlo getting a peach. A lot of people are like, "Yeah, girl, it's your time. Is this, is that?" She had a lot of goodwill. We were rooting
Right.
for her.
I'm eating crow with my cousin right now with that.
Oh, hold on, but the fact that
My cousin said she didn't want her as a peach holder.
okay, but the fact
I was
that
trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
okay, but the fact that there were people that were rooting for Marlo, and the fact that you had all this goodwill and you decided to come in and be the villain, what the hell? Why would you do
And not
that?
a good villain either, by the way.
That's like me being cast as the sweetheart of the show, and I'm supposed to be Pollyanna Sunshine, and I come in sleeping with everybody's man, throwing stuff and being a mess. It's like, what are you doing? Do you understand the assignment, Marlo?
Yeah, she do not understand the assignment, Tisa. She don't understand it.
Those producers, did they, again, maybe the producers are really good at capping people up and being like, this is what you need to do. Let's get in. Marlo's Chia Pet. How you doing?
Marlo Chia Pet joined the chat.
No, Marlo Chia Pet, how are you?
Let me mute myself because I'm dying.
I know. Let's see. It's this Marlo Chia Pet. You want to add to the combo? Can you hear them?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Kandi said something. Was it Kandi? Where she said that Marlo was still posting photos of the boys, but they were still at her sister's. And I feel like she's just doing that
I think
to get
Marlo
a
said
pat
that.
on the
I think
back.
Marlo was talking about that.
Like she kept posting them so people can give her a pat on the back. Oh, you're doing such a great job, knowing that the boys are not even with her. They're all cramped up in that 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, no. I think Marlo was telling the girls that on the bus.
Wait a second. But you know what? Sorry, Marlo's Chia Pet. You bring up a good point. Because now that I think about it, when Marlo got that peach and I was paying attention to her Instagram, she was always posting pictures of taking the boys out to eat, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. And I was like, how come they not posting pictures in the house? But I was like, oh, maybe they just gonna do that when when the season comes on.
Yeah. Maybe she's trying to keep things a little private for them.
But to Marlo's Chia Pet, maybe those boys weren't in the house and she was actually just doing it for clout because, again, storyline and Monty and those boys weren't actually in the house. Because even Marlo's with the boys, and I don't want to judge the way people raise people, but you know how sometimes the way that you talk to people is sometimes the way people talk to you. Like the toxicity becomes your inner voice, which becomes your outer voice. I find it odd that when Marlo was with, and I don't want to judge, but let me just say this. When Marlo was with her kids, well, her nephews, and whenever she always had the camera in the face, like, look at this. What you ordering? Crab, lobster? Oh, so you know you gotta work for that. And it's just like, Marlo, can they enjoy a goddamn meal? It is lobster. Like, when you stop it, do you have like you're gold crusted steaks or something? I just that she always wanted them to be like, oh my God, thank you. But maybe that was her way of instilling great like into her.
And also her sister had good points where she was like giving Marlo advice too. That you can't do
I think that Marlo has no idea what she's doing, and she's still that little girl in the foster care system that doesn't really have much character development. So the only thing she feels like she can give to these two boys is materialism and this lifestyle. Like, she feels like that's the only thing she could teach them. It's like, hey, did you guys hear when she was saying that before the boys go to school they have to come in the room and she has to see what they're wearing? It's like, girl, I've never ever heard you mention anything else that you have such conviction, such, such seriousness about, but you make sure that you approve what they're wearing every day that they go to school. Those are kids. Everybody who have kids know that they're never going to come back the way you leave them, the way that they go. They're going to come back dirty. They're going to come back messed up. Why does it even matter what clothes that they're wearing?
Right.
Well, speaking of, the word on the street is, right? It's just word on the street, that Marlo was sending money for those boys and taking them out to eat also. And that's when she would actually post. So again, it seems suspect and odd. I'm just trying to figure out what part is the storyline. You kicking them out or you bringing them in? I'm just wondering what part is the storyline, because something is not adding up. It's just not adding up. I don't know. Hey, Darlene Richard, what's going on? Let's hear Darlene Richard. Why don't you weigh in? Then we'll go back to Marlo's cheater pet, then Betty, then Nikki. What's your feelings on this, Darlene? Darlene? I can't hear you. Okay, so, well, when we can hear Darlene, we'll bring Darlene, just jump in whenever your mic gets working. So Marlo's a chia pet. So what else? What's your take on what's going on with Kenya and Marlo? And that arguing at the table.
I think Kenya was very eloquent with the way she expressed herself, just telling Marlo what she feels. And Marlo it just totally went over her head. Like, she caught a few words, but it's like her mind doesn't process quick enough. And she didn't get what Kenya is saying.
Did she not get?
I think she got it. I think she got it. She just
she doesn't know how to respond. Playing like she's playing stupid. That's what she's doing.
Right.
She doesn't know how to respond to Kenya.
She had her response ready, so it didn't matter what Kenya was gonna say. She knew. She practiced in the mirror like Phaedra what she was gonna say to Kenya, and she just said what she practiced. It didn't matter what Kenya said.
Right. So what she was saying was like so off topic. You're like, wait, this is not what she's talking about. Like, did you even listen? But it's like you said, she thought about her speech and what she's gonna say, and she just went with it. No matter what Kenya would have said. She already processed it that way.
But also to the point of, again, I give it to Kenya with Marlo. Sorry, guys, it is like so hot over here. But I give it to Kenya and Marlo. I mean, to Kenya. Marlo, even when Kenya started talking, I don't think that Marlo thought that Kenya was going to be so direct. Kenya didn't beat around the bush. Cindy J. Pat's aggressive. She's like, what's your problem? Kenya was like, well, you said very hurtful.
Yeah, it caught her off guard, basically.
It caught her off guard, but then she started doing those juvenile things that literally would have gotten me off topic. Because I'd have been like, I'm sick of you doing this. Interrupting. Marlo, let me speak. Okay, but let me just say this. She kept doing these very juvenile things to just get under Kenya's skin. And I gave it to Kenya because I would have been like, all right, just give me another drink. Like, I'm done with you. I'm done. I'm just going to just leave it at that because we are too old for me to be throwing bread or water across the table. And I'm just going to sit here and eat You know?
And Tisa, you see how she was trying to give Kenya that ultimatum? That really bothered me. Like, she's basically trying to say, Kenya, you can't film with us unless you do what I tell you to do. Like,
literally 12?
When did you become the CEO of Bravo? What is going on? Like,
that's another thing too. We all know you don't get to decide who's in the scene. The producers do, Marlo. So that's why Kenya was like, well, I will be joining everybody for festivities. They can't say you don't run shit. The producers hooked up the show. But the fact
exactly. The producers are like, we're not playing that crap again.
Yeah.
We had to deal with that in season 5 of Potomac. No, we're not doing that.
No, Marlo.
Yeah. Wait, what's going on?
Those spirits. You was way too jealous, and this is getting ugly. I'm gonna need you to rebuke the spirits, girl. Go get some incense from where Sheree got it. Put it in your coochie. Put it anywhere you need to put it, and rebuke the spirits. It's going too far for me. Tisa, on the last video, I didn't get to call in, but I wanted to point out because I feel like it went over a lot of people's heads. Marlo tried to throw a drink on Kenya in that last episode.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people missed
a lot of bloggers didn't mention that.
Yeah, a lot of people missed that. She
Listen.
literally tried to throw a drink when they were all toasting, like, yay, having that
she held
moment.
it up and Kandi was like, I don't like that. The funny thing is, that's even this review. I started off saying this, like, you almost tried to put a drink on top of Kenya's head. And Sanya, you're defending that? Well,
Yeah.
how can you close with Marlo?
The
Girl,
flip
you were
flopper.
there. Is she a flip
And she-
flopper? But listen, I will say this thing about Marlo's consistent though. Marlo tried to kick Kenya out the house the same way she kicked her nephews out. Whenever Marlo can't get the upper hand, again, this is when it's like Marlo needs therapy. Because I recognize it. When you are mistreated badly, your inner voice starts becoming your outer voice, such as people that are in abusive relationships become very, very mean because the person's talking mean to them. So they talk mean to, you see what I'm saying? So with Kenya and Marlo, when she can't get the upper hand, when she can't get control, the first thing she does is kick out, which maybe that's what Marlo experienced in her life. And she's like, well, I turned out good for it. I don't know. Marlo, I don't know what image Marlo is trying to promote, but I just wish that Marlo had come and just been a little bit more real. But then, like how y'all said, Marlo is so obsessed with her image. The fact that she has her boys in front of her to see what you're wearing to school, you were never going to be that real. And, it's just, you can be fake, but just be consistently fake. I don't know. It's weird, but good point. Marlo did try to dump a drink on Kenya's head. And the fact
it was so
that
random, like
if Kandi wouldn't have stopped it, she probably would have threw a drink.
it would have happened. All the other girls saw that. And that's one of the things that's getting me a little bit upset about how the other girls won't call her out. It's like they're all kind of just standing back and witnessing this and waiting for it to get crazy before they say anything. And I just think that's not fair, because if it was Kenya doing this, everybody will be talking about it. Everybody will be coming together to talk about Kenya and to act like she's into, to talk about how she's acting crazy. But you guys are all witnessing what Marlo's doing. You see that it's crazy. You see that it's not warranted, but nobody's saying nothing. Everybody's just kind of letting it happen because I guess they just want it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they think it's going to be good.
No, it took Kandi to be like, no, to take that drink away from Marlo to separate them.
True, but I feel like Marlo's going to get her karma at the reunion.
Yeah,
Marlo
she
can't
is.
read. She is not quick on her feet, and Kenya is going to eat her up on that couch. Just eat her up.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
it's gonna be epic.
Because all I could say, Marlo better get her reads together.
She gonna go to reading school like Nene did. She gonna take a few classes.
Because Marlo don't have quite a memory. It's gonna be disaster. I will say one thing though. Is there anything that you guys are liking about Marlo? Like, I just don't understand how you had all this goodwill and you squandered it to be the villain, but like you're like an evil villain, but like Austin Powers evil villain. Like, Marlo, stop. I like you likable and funny and like a girl.
I like her kind. That's the thing. I like her kind-hearted. Like when she do the things, like how she had the trip, like doing the observe, but then she turns right around and be very insulting and very below the belt.
Listen, I completely agree with you. And I will say that Kenya was smart not to bring Brooklyn in that house, because I know she would have said something out of pocket to Kenya that literally made her lose. You know what I'm saying? Kenya does not play around. Well, no one plays around with their children, right? But I'm just 100% certain she would have crossed the line. And
I agree.
Kenya would have gotten out of character. And Marlo, that's probably why Marlo was like, Brooklyn's always welcome. Sounded like the evil stepmother of Cinderella.
Yeah.
Kenya was like, no. Okay, so listen, really quick, let's go through everybody's thoughts. What else you want to talk about, and rank this episode, what you thought it was. And yeah, let's rank the season too. I will say this. I don't know how on Twitter people were allowed to go with this narrative that this is going to be a worse season, this and that. I do feel like this cast is a good cast. Even Drew's messy self. So everybody fits so well. Marlo needs to calm down, but even with all that said, make Fatum, make Manetta full-time housewives, and just have it in the mix. I am sick of the Bravo recipe of 6 or 7 housewives, and then you get like 5 minutes of each one in each episode. I feel like someone should tell the producers, you know, it's okay if just this show we focus on Kenya and Marlo and maybe Kandi, and then next episode, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, everybody doesn't have to be in every episode, so we get 5 minutes of each housewives. Dun, 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 dun. How about you just give us like 9 or 10 interesting women, and each episode, some people are more featured than others, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
that's what they do on the other franchises. There's
Yeah,
some episodes you
Because
don't
it
even
was,
see some of the
yeah.
other girls.
yeah, it's
Yeah, this episode was a Kandi, Marlo, and Kenya episode.
it was Kandi, Marlo, and Kenya, but I feel like all
And you
that
just saw a
other
little
stuff,
bit of Sheree and Sanya and Drew.
which was unnecessary. They could have been in the next episode. It's like, show us where the stories. We want to follow the story, the most interesting one.
Right.
We don't
The
need like,
housewife story. Can
So
we see these
true.
women being housewives, see their daily lives, see what is in their world? Like, let's get a view into their worlds. That's the reason why we watch the show. It's not
And
all for the
also, like
drama.
when they show them like with their lives, it'd be very short.
Right. I would have
They always
loved
want
to
to show
see
a
Kenya.
montage of it.
I would have loved to see more with Kenya with that business meeting. I would
yes,
have loved to see some
this is
more
what
of
I
that.
don't get about the producers. Like, there's so many interesting things going on, and don't get me wrong, the scene between Kandi and Kenya was cute. But can we see, why are we sitting there talking about 8 minutes while you guys are now they didn't know they were, but the producers, you're basically having them redo after you did the flashback, last time in Real Housewives of Atlanta, you then had them recap it in a ball pit and then skirt it over. Oh yeah, and Kenya made a $1 billion deal. Like, wait, what? Like, yeah, you're right. It's like, can we see what happened? Instead, it's just like a little 2-second flashback. It's weird. Why aren't we seeing Dancing with the Stars? Why aren't we seeing Kandi film more on her stuff? Kandi does stuff every day in the city of Atlanta. Don't tell me that Kandi don't got interesting things to do. It's just weird.
And you just showing mainly Marlo doing nothing really, but arguing with her like
Marlo ain't got nothing. So at this point, it's clear she ain't got nothing. But even little Sanya, let's see what's going on in Sanya's little Jamaican world and her family. I would like to see some more of that.
She had her meeting too. I wanted to see more of that.
Like, I loved it when, like, who was it? Remember when they would have the camera on Kandi and it would be like the Kandi coded click, and it would be Don Juan and Carmen and Jamie would be in there and they would be laughing, kikiing, and it's okay, you guys, we can take side characters. I know Sanya is a star, but I can see her mom and little sister talking. I focus, y'all. Just give me something.
I think, too, like because I know this like past Tuesday they didn't show too much of Dawn. I think they other people had a problem with Don Juan being on a show all the time,
which was stupid because I actually liked the scene.
I had no problem with him.
I didn't have no problem. Yes, he did a little too much at times, but I kind of liked him on here.
It was enough. It was enough for the show, and for that moment, it was always enough in my opinion. He's not like the clutch.
I agree.
I
had a problem because they couldn't keep up with his mouth.
Right.
Yes. I like Don Juan, but I really wish reality TV on Bravo would start to just be more realistic. You have friends that's going on, and when you see what's going on with the drama, yes, we're good friends. I might not be involved in the drama, but let's go to your house and see you and like your cousins or whatever. It's just like, why everybody doesn't have to be a peach holder. Everybody doesn't have to be friends of the housewives. Just show us reality. And I think that's why Bravo's struggling, because it's just so like, it's no longer natural or intuitive,
I agree.
And that's why
contrived.
Yeah. It's just listen, and Sanya's trying to get her coin, which she should be. But again, I enjoyed seeing the scenes when Sanya's talking to her mom and stuff.
Her family, that was what made me like her. Seeing her talk to her mom and her dad, seeing her little son acting up in the house, and like that stuff is cute. I like that.
Exactly. But with Housewives, they're just like, no, we just want to see you and your kids in the camera. And it's like, but what are you actually bringing to? And again, I blame this on production. I feel like all the Housewives, for whatever reason, bring their own flavor. But production is like, it's so easy. Just go look at VH1, go look at TLC, go look at Lifetime. There's other reality shows, y'all. The ones that are doing, go look at Carlos's King shows and see like the way it's like, just, it's okay. Sometimes you're gonna have a lot of people in the scene, and sometimes you're not. But all that said, this is one of the most entertaining seasons we've had in a long, long time. So you know what? Good job, guys. Good job. So let me get really quick with you guys one by one. What did you think of the show, and what do you think of the season so far?
I love Okay.
So we'll start with, we'll do Darlene, then we'll do Marlo, Betty, and Nikki. Darlene?
Darlene, you there?
Okay, Darlene can go last. Let's do Marlo, then Betty, then Nikki, then Darlene.
I'm actually enjoying the show. I'm enjoying it more than the last 3 to 4 seasons. Yeah, ever since that whole Phaedra fiasco. I think it's a lot more lighthearted. And I'm a huge Kenya fan, so I love seeing her with this free spirit. I'm just loving it. And I still want to see more about her business deals.
I do too. It shocks me that the producers, again, this is why Real Housewives of Atlanta, in my opinion, had that problem. It seems like the editors are like, we need the drama. And it's like, you guys, like, do you realize that people that like reality TV, we see drama in an eye flick or a look or a pause. You don't need to feed us drama. We see the drama. It's like watching our friends have a conversation. We can pick the drama out for ourselves. But the fact that they keep trying to have a moment, it's just like, stop it. I agree with you. I agree. Okay. So, okay, Marlo, also Chia Pet, what do you rank this episode and what do you rank the season?
This episode, I would give it an 8. The season is a 9.
Yeah, I would say so. And we haven't even gotten into that drama because I am so interested to see what Marlo said or did to Kandi to make her literally cut ties. Because like you said, Betty, Kandi is very, very good in knowing how to keep professional ties, you know, and keep her feelings like at bay. So the fact that Kandi said, I'm sick of you. Yeah. What did Marlo say or do? What did she say or do? Betty, okay, so what's your take on this?
I am enjoying this season. I could be honest by saying that this is one of the first times that I'm actually watching Real Housewives like live. Like I tune in at 8 a.m. and watch it live. I don't remember the last time I was doing that. I usually am just watching the episodes on demand. So I find myself being excited for the next episode and stuff. So this is the first time in a while since it's been like that. I think that everybody has exciting. Each character has a role that they play, you know, and it's exciting to see what are they going to do next. So this is a good cast. This is a good mix. So for that, I do enjoy it, and I'm excited to see what's coming. And this is the first time in a long time I've been excited for Real Housewives of Atlanta. The episode that we watched last, I rated about a 7 or 8. It was a good filler episode. Overall, I'm going to rate this season about an 8. Because I am enjoying it. It's exciting. I do feel like the lady before said to me, like, I like the lighthearted fun. Like, I like that it's not too dark. I could see the girls are putting more effort in just not being too crazy about it. Just, yeah, we're going to get a little back before we do. We're going to get a little one-liner. This is going to be cute. It's going to be funny, but we're going to move on and we're going to just, you know, be these beautiful Black women spreading Black girl magic. I like it. Marlo, girl, get on the train. You the only person not on the train, sis. Get on the train. Check the vibe and realize that we don't need what you're doing. We don't need it. Tone it down and calm down.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I think this has been a really good season. I think, you know what? Everything. Somebody needs to send this voice note. Everything Betty said, put it in a voice note and send it to the Real Housewives. Producers.
Andy, log on to TisaTells.com and get into it.
Exactly. Okay. So also, what else? Let's see. All right. So, okay. So again, I don't know if you already did, but rank it this episode and then the whole season.
I rate this episode 8.5. It was a real good episode. It was a really good filler. Because usually the fillers be very boring.
I think that they usually are boring. And this filler was actually interesting. Like you said, and a lot of you guys actually pointed out, this filler episode gave you what you needed. And it was a nice reset. Like, okay. And
it was more like a continuation to what's to come for the next few episodes. And go ahead.
No, so what else were you? So what? Who are you rooting for? Whose side? Let's act. Whose side are you rooting for?
Who am I? Definitely Kenya and Kandi.
Kenya, Kandi. I'm so eager, and they've been so tight-lipped about why Marlo and Kandi, what they got into. Nobody's talking. I guess the producers are like, you better keep your mouth shut. If this leaks, you're all in trouble. But nobody's leaked anything, so I really do want to find out, what did Marlo do to cross that line?
I have a guess. I honestly, because let's be real, Marlo has been talking about Kandi behind her back. Kandi hasn't been able to really witness the type of stuff the type of vulgar, the fucked up stuff that Marlo is saying.
Yes.
I think that it's really going to be as simple as Marlo's going to have one of those moments where she gets her Tourette's syndrome and she says something crazy to Kandi in her face, and then Candy's going to be able to receive that and see see the vitriol that's coming from her, and Candy's going to react and be like, "Oh, that's how you feel about me? Okay."
I heard something months ago, like while they were filming, that it had something to do with Blaze. That's why I can't.
About the restaurant.
No, her daughter.
Whoa.
Something about her being a test tube baby, because she, the way how Kandi had her, because she ain't have her naturally.
Oh no.
They had allegedly have something to do with that.
Right, Kandi, you gonna have to monkey stomp her, Kandi. I'm gonna need you to put hands
and
feet.
So, that was one of the stories that came out, like somebody reported on.
No, exactly. Listen, one thing we do know is Bravo can't control reality. So if Marlo did put those boys out, it happened. They can't do anything. Just like Bravo couldn't control Portia. Speaking of which, you guys, we are going to review Real Ultimate Girls Trip. Portia.
Oh yeah. I might pay for what you call it this time around.
Peacock.
Peacock.
I just want to see if Portia throws something, loses her mind, or I'm just interested to see if Portia has actually realized, because that's the funny thing with Real Housewives of Girls Trip, right? They offered it to Portia the first time around, but Portia was like, I'm a billionaire's wife. I don't need this mess. This is what she's talking about money, right? And now this time around, they did a last minute replacement. She was like, I'll do it. What's good for her? Portia makes good reality TV by being a hot mess. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to see her reaction, her and Candice interaction.
Well, I think that they're already getting into it, because Candice actually tweeted the other day, when are you going to learn I cannot be son? So it's either Giselle or Portia. I'm thinking it's Portia, because Portia can't stand Candice. And
Portia. Wait, so Portia and Candice on the same season of the Girls Trip? Ooh, I'm tuning in.
And Portia and Monique are friends.
They're super good friends. But no, Portia and Monique are friends, but also Giselle and Portia are cool.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yeah, they did that show together.
Yeah, and she agreed with the fact that Candice Portia agreed that Candice should have gotten her hands laid on her, right? And I don't know. I don't. The thing is with Portia is not a good reader. She just makes up lies. On Real Housewives of Atlanta, she did. That's how she read people. She would make up lies, and we believed it because we didn't know any better. But the thing is with Candice, you don't know anything about Candice's life. So if you throw something out there, we're automatically going to think like, Portia, you're just making that up. You don't know anybody that knows that girl. Second of all, Portia is an easy read for stealing. There's so many things you can read Portia about.
Yeah.
Candice is going to read that girl down.
Yeah, although Candice is almost like Marlo with going below the belt. But she could read though.
She can read.
I don't think Candice goes below the belt. I think Candice gets ahead of herself. Like, she doesn't allow the argument to naturally progress. Like, she just goes.
Yeah, and she likes to try to one up people too.
Right.
Yeah, she does try to one up people, but I will say, I like Candice. Candice never comes for anyone until they try her. And the thing is, y'all, like, it's like the fact, I feel like with Candice, the fact that people try to humiliate her, try to do this, try to do that, and they miss, people are like, oh, you had no right to do that. But their goal was to actually like humiliate me and mock me. So what you mean? Now, again, she does get ahead of herself, but we also know Portia is not a great reader. She is not very verbally astute. And when she gets frustrated, she gets violent.
Candice is going to eat her up.
Unless Portia loses it again and acts a fool. And if she does, but then again, I think she won't, because y'all know that the spinoff looks like it's going to be happening. And if she loses, that means that she just lost her spinoff. So, but then again, because even with Dennis in Mexico, I know she did all that stuff, but part of the reason she was so difficult, besides that being her MO, is the fact that she thought that she didn't need none of this and Simon was going to retire.
And
you know,
I don't think Portia is gonna act a fool around the other like white housewives either.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think Portia don't know what the is.
Rhino Killer wants some emotion. Hold on. I've had the same troll that keeps coming in, and baby, I know it's taking you time to make new usernames because I keep blocking you. Stay out of team spaces and stay in your lane, Kandi Jr. We don't need your mixed race with devil opinion. I don't understand. Why do people keep... First of all, what's wrong with being mixed race? Second of all, I'm not mixed race. I'm black. And third of all, Rhino Killer, you have your attention. Now, can you go? What the... I don't understand people.
Yeah, and six of all, what did rhinos do to you? Like, why you just hating on everybody?
This is the same person that keeps like talking about like making fake profiles and then like I just don't understand. But honestly, is being mixed race supposed to be a drag? I don't understand this. I don't. Do people not look?
That's another one that can't read, Tisa. You need to go to reading school.
I don't understand. But not even that. It's like, I'm not mixed race, but if I was, is that a drag? Like, okay, like moving on.
Exactly.
Can't even spell opinion. Why is there two P's?
Listen, the devil is here. The devil, Rhino Killer. Listen, Simon.
Probably is Simon.
Simon and Portia, they're trolls. Rhino Killer, the mixed race devil. Somebody is bored out of their mind.
That was very random.
Literally. And keep making fake bot. Like, you know, the funny thing is that Fire Funny. So I block you, and then you do the same time frame that you literally are making a new Gmail account to set up a new YouTube account to come and comment on my thing. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. I love the algorithm. Thank you. Listen, okay. You are the enemy. Look at your skin tone. Okay. All right.
I know. If you better like it when you get here, because if you don't like it,
make sure. Yes, hit the like button on your way.
You just torturing yourself, boo boo. We having fun over here. How you over here? You not even having fun. You better leave.
Listen, here's the thing. I don't have thin skin at all, so it's like, okay. But when you try to read me, a little pizzazz, a little razzle dazzle, you know, make me laugh, make me sit there and look at you and be like, you asshole, that was a good one. Like, make me laugh at myself. Do something to amuse me. Not these little third grade reads. Like okay. Like, all right. I didn't.
Yeah, don't be trying to start a race war in the comments. We don't care about that.
Race war, but y'all, it's like when I was on Twitter and somebody called me.
Let's throw tomatoes at him, guys. Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Somebody called me a black fishing Indian woman. This one I had like the long straight wig, wavy wig. They called me a black fishing Indian woman. For this, I made up my handle. I said, okay, like that's stupid, but fine. But these, if you're gonna read me, put some, you know,
make the read make sense. And let it be funny.
Razzle dazzle. I can laugh at myself. I can be like, yo, you got me. You asshole, you got me. Just, you know, listen.
But the Ultimate Girls Trip is probably gonna be very interested with, because you got Marisol and Alexia from Miami.
Mm-hmm. We got all these people. It's gonna be good. Candice, listen, I feel sorry for Candice that once again Bravo has made her a lightning rod. And I will say this, I feel like all the people on Bravo that watch it that are problematic, right? I feel like they use Candice as like a whipping board and lightning rod to be like, I don't like you because you are a confident Black woman who's educated and comes from wealth. That's what I feel about Candice. So I feel like, damn, Bravo puts you in another situation where you are becoming like the number one hated.
Don't get me wrong. I ain't agree with everything Candice did, but Bravo was going too far with her.
Yeah, it's like it's the hate she receives, considering that Erica Jane and Lisa Rinna,
yeah,
and all these problematic people on Bravo exist, and they don't get 1/10 of the hate. But that said, it's a good cast. The cast is good all the way around.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Portia's last minute addition. Listen,
and then you have what's her name? The two cousins from Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Oh, they're gonna be there too.
Yes.
Yeah, Whitney, and Heather.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Heather, because she could read too. Heather.
Yep.
Let's see. Hold on, really.
Heather be reading.
Yeah, although she's a bit ditzy, she reminds me of a white version of Portia too, Whitney. But she have her funny moments.
She does have her funny moments. I will say that. Listen, this is definitely I don't know. It's a good cast. It's a good cast. I'm just waiting to see what Portia does to self-destruct in more of her life.
She replaced Tinsley from New York. What's the other white woman from New York that's going to be on here?
Yeah.
Tinsley and who else?
No, Tinsley. Portia's replacing Tinsley.
Leah.
Oh,
Leah's going to be on there. Oh, it's going to be good.
Wait, said this. EHC Buddy said Portia, Giselle, and Candice will be living under the same roof. Bring Bolo back. That's what they need. Bring Bolo back.
Yeah.
And Portia will have no shame and whatever.
I wonder if he's gonna travel to the Philippines.
Exactly. I would say that somebody pointed out that are Portia and Giselle even? Hey, thank you, Naomi Child. Are Portia and Giselle even cool anymore? Because Giselle doesn't wear gold naked hair anymore. Thank goodness, because she wasn't doing Portia's friend any favors with that. Remember, she was wearing the headband wig, but she had the headband all the way down here, like Giselle.
No, but I would say her weaves were looking better when she wore Portia's weave on her confessionals.
Exactly.
They were.
Exactly.
I think Giselle's just one of those women. She's from the old school. She understands I'm gorgeous. I don't gotta do too much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show up with my 99-cent weave, my $2 wig, girl.
And she got beautiful long hair too, like Kenya.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she does have. That's what I'm trying to say. I think she understands. I mean, I think she has convinced herself that she doesn't have to do much. Like, I'm gorgeous. I'm showing up in my Party City wig and my sky blue eyeshadow. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't care, and she don't care what outfit she wears either. She stands in it. I'll say.
She does. I think I'm telling you. I think Giselle understands. Like, I'm gorgeous. I don't care what y'all gotta say. I know.
And I hate to say it, but Nene should have took some notes from Giselle when people be reading her. Like when people be going, I will say about Giselle, she don't respond to nobody really.
She doesn't. I mean, she looks stupid in that moment, but in the long run, she doesn't give them anything. But in that moment, I'd be like, Giselle, please. Like, Giselle, don't admit that's his number. And she's like, yes, that's his number. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Okay. Like Candice said, that's unfortunate.
and then Robin's like, oh, who's she talking about? Oh, Jamal.
Yeah, exactly. Leah is a drunk mess, right?
She is a drunk mess. I love me, Leah. I like her a lot.
I like Tinsley too, but every time Tinsley is about to make it come up, Scott do something to sabotage her. Mm-hmm. So we'll do. But listen, you guys. So thanks for joining. We're gonna be back next week. We're gonna go right after every single week. Real Housewives Atlanta, and of course we're gonna be reviewing Girls Trip and what else?
What'd you think about Phaedra saying what she said about she don't know why she got fired?
Oh gosh.
I think here's an interesting thing. I don't know if they're gonna bring Phaedra back or not, because Candi's made it known that she's gonna leave if Phaedra comes back. That said, Kandi does have several other things going on. I don't know. I think Phaedra, like, she's a weird. They hyped up her appearance on Real Housewives of Dubai, but the way that they keep having her on Watch What Happens Live and all this stuff, it makes me think she might be coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I will say it wouldn't be the first time Bravo used people for clickbait and didn't actually get them back. So,
and I saw some of the clips. I don't find her interesting on Ultimate Girls Trip.
Yeah, I mean, Phaedra also had rehearsed reads. She was just better at doing it, and Phaedra is funny. Again, people have been saying that they're going to bring Portia back to Real Housewives Atlanta. I don't know why they would do that. Not because Portia's not good TV, but because the cast is like really good and
good. Yeah,
Portia's already proven she can't carry a show by herself, and she's a disruptor of sorts. So it's like I don't know what they're doing.
They should. Although Marlo getting on my nerves on the show, they should keep this current cast for next season.
I think so too. No, I would say though. Would they bring Portia back would Portia go to Potomac or a different show? I don't know.
Wherever Portia go, make sure Fallon is on the same show. That's all I ask, please.
Yeah.
Okay?
I don't know if Portia could fit in with Potomac though.
I don't know if she could either, but I will say, and I agree with you, Betty, whoever you bring, when you bring Portia to anything, please let Fallon be there. I don't understand why they didn't even have Fallon on this season as a friend talking about what happened. And like they could have opened the season with the aftermath of what
but
the vlogs, like, oh my God, they could have done that. And the fact that the Real Housewives constantly leave good storylines on the floor, but then we're literally talking about.
I heard Marlo and Kenya was planning on doing that before Marlo and Kenya fought with each other.
Yeah,
they were going to bring Fallon to the show, and then like Portia pulled the rug up under them.
How?
By quitting the show.
But they still could have brought Fallon back. Like people get Portia got added in on the 5th or 6th episode of the season she started on. They can still bring you in. Like as soon as they said the contracts and Portia said no, they could have went to Fallon and been like, all right, can you be a friend of the show? Or can we have you sign on for like a few episodes? The fact that they left that on the ground, that was just weird to me. That was just so weird. Yeah.
Tisa,
but listen, you guys.
Do you want to review Married to Medicine? I would love to see you review that. And I know I saw somebody else say it too. And
is it good this year?
It looks like it's gonna be real good. Have you watched it? Like, do you watch that?
I'll be honest, don't know because I've been going around. But you know what? I'm planning on the airplane catching up on Married to Medicine. So yeah, if y'all want Married to Medicine, we can do that. Like do a Sunday night for Atlanta and then Monday Married to Medicine, or we can do both reviews on Monday. We'll work it out. But yeah, if y'all want to see Married to Medicine, let me know in the comments and I'll definitely review that because I am an old head Married to Medicine fan, you know?
Oh yeah, me too. I love that show.
Yeah. I like something about Married to Medicine. It's just like all of them. They just but
yeah, it's a good show, but I feel like something is still missing.
Yeah, it's called Mariah.
I'm gonna say it. It's Mariah.
Mariah
added something to that show that they have not been able to get back. They haven't been able to get back. And the way
although I am glad that Quad is back on the show as a full-timer.
Quad's back. Quad, that's the thing. I like Quad, but when Quad started believing her own hype, and like, you know, yes, honey, and recycling the reads and stuff. I was like, Quad, will you stop it? Like it became like a character. And then even the last season I saw her, I felt like she was too hostile for no reason, just sitting on 10. And then with Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie, I'm like, this is getting too negative. So if they pulled it back, yeah, that would be a good one.
My opinion is that Mariah, Quad, and Dr. Heavenly, they're like the triple trifecta of that show. All three of those girls need to be on that show at the same time because they just balance each other out. Those are personalities, and all the other girls are just fillers. But those are personalities.
And I get sick of Toya's same old storyline selling her house.
I cannot with Toya, and their people cannot pay their bills. I am so sick of that couple. That is embarrassing. Yeah, they cannot pay their bills, Tisa. That is embarrassing.
It is, but I will say something. You had a good point. Quad, Mariah, and Dr. Heavenly, they all carried the show. All three of them, right? So the fact that they took one of them in, it's like the stool doesn't have a leg. Quad doesn't have to keep her in check, and Dr. Heavenly runs circles.
I don't like, and then what's her name was a flip flopper to me, Simone.
Yeah. She is. Yeah. But you know what? All right, you guys. So let me get off, but you're right. I am going to review Married to Medicine. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining. And I will see you guys next week for the review, the recap, and all that mess. All right, y'all. Oh, and Naomi, thank you so much for the super chat. TC Sarah Henlian, thank you so much for the super chat. And of course, TC, thank you so much for the super chat. Much appreciated. And I'll see you guys next week. Yeah, next week.
Yes.
See you next time.
Trudies. TC, thank you so much for the super chat. All right, you guys. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.